Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
How are you, buckaroo?
Oh, man, just another weekend of craziness, man. I moved, so I got a new place. And I
hadn't noticed you'd left.
Oh, jeez. And then congratulations are due to two members of our community, Hillary Chapman and Corey DuPont. They were married yesterday. I officiated their wedding. And,
yes. What horrible mistakes people make these days.
Jeez. But plenty of nerds at the wedding and some nerdy references in the ceremony.
I would hope so.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's lay out the show real quick. As always, we'll open up with top nerd news, followed by our boy Skungy and his pick of the week. Or did we fire him again?
No,
I'm not sure.
No, he's not fired.
Damn it.
Present,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, well. So Skungy.
And then we're going to have, for our interview spot, we're going to air the audio from the press junket at Dragoncon when we were there to interview Ethan Peck, who played Spock in Star Trek Discovery.
Score. Actually, I interviewed Amanda Crew this week on my sports show. She's been in a new movie called Freaks. I totally forgot to talk to you about that.
Oh, wow.
It was a horrible interview.
Okay.
It was bad in every way, shape, or form that I could do an interview. I screwed it up. It was epic. So we could play it if you want.
How about no? Not with that ringing endorsement.
Let's start up.
Oh, wait. Well, and then, of course, we'll close it all out with This Week in Geek History. But first...
And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right. I got tickets to give away. We can give them away on Facebook. We can give them away tonight.
What tickets?
She's in the movie Freaks. It came out Friday the 13th.
Okay.
The movie looks great. The movie looks good. It was just my interview with her was...
Why are you telling me all this now on the air?
I don't know, because we were both late. We've had very busy weekends, so we're doing some house cleaning to start off the show for people.
Dave.
I'm just offering free tickets to our listeners. Is that so wrong?
No, it is not. And
260-0995.
I'll
put you have to be on hold while we do top nerd news, but 260-0995.
Okay. First caller to gets a pair of tickets. There
Sure
you
enough.
Go. All right, cool.
I'm just throwing you all kinds of curveballs.
You are. I guess you wanted to talk about Star Wars out of the gate, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's just I keep getting all these alerts with all the new stuff coming out because we're getting closer and closer to the new Disney Plus.
Absolutely.
And so the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, he thought he was actually going to be playing Boba Fett.
Yeah, no.
And so, I guess back when he first had this meeting with Jon Favreau, I guess it was still the possibility because I don't think Han Solo had been such a giant turd yet in the theater. So there was still like, we can rehash Obi-Wan and then, Lando and everybody else. And yeah.
Well, and just, I want to put this out there for anyone who may not know a lot of Star Wars lore is Mandalorians are like the people who are the bounty hunters that Boba Fett is a Mandalorian.
Right. And then that armor isn't it supposed to like deflect lightsabers and stuff? Supposedly.
I'm not really sure to be honest.
It took off Jango Fett's head pretty good.
Right, exactly. It didn't help him.
Of course, that wasn't armor. That was the lightly armored neck.
Yeah, right.
So,
he didn't have a gorget on.
He did not.
But regardless, also IG-11 is who we saw in the trailer.
Right, not to be confused with IG-88.
Even though they look exactly the same.
Well, there are a series of droids, so they all sort of look the same. Look, they had a CPX or something like that. He looked exactly like C3PO, and everybody thought he was C3PO, but he had an X on his helmet, like on the top of his skull, and he was a bounty hunter and a cold-blooded murderer.
Wow.
So yeah, like that. Those are all the stuff that's now Star Wars Legends, not canon. And that kind of rolls into the second story, though, about what we might see in The Mandalorian. And one of those things is people have been clamoring, myself included, for like Grand Admiral Thrawn to make a return, and Mara Jade to make a return. Favreau didn't exactly say no, but he said if you liked that stuff, there's a lot of ways for this series to go. And since this will be the first, series for Star Wars that's not cartoon based,
right?
That they can explore all these things. And the cartoons, while they're all good and all well and good, I mean, they got great storytelling going on over there. It doesn't seem as real to me unless you've got it on the big screen. I know that sounds snobbish and elitist, but I don't. I mean, in the kindest way possible.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and absolutely, we need to see Thrawn and Mara Jade and those characters come back. I think Favreau could do an excellent job at that. I got to hang out with Timothy Zahn at Dragoncon for a little bit.
I hate you.
Yeah, I know you do.
Okay.
So, but
I could use a nice paper cut. You want to give me some lemon juice and just squirt it right in there too?
Sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I just think that there's a lot more they can do with this, as opposed to we've still been hearing horror stories about Falcon and what's his nuts, Winter Soldier.
Right.
Like apparently this thing is just a disaster in the making right now.
Yeah.
Like it's having production issues. It's the script is a giant turd. Nothing good has come out of any previews or not previews, any news coming out of that project has not been very good.
Have they done audience screenings yet?
I don't believe so, or they've done some bit of it, but a lot of the stuff is from the writers' room are having trouble tackling stuff though too.
That's surprising. You'd think Foggy would clamp down on all that.
Well, now he's got a much broader smorgasbord of stuff to oversee, though. I mean, so he can't kind of just come in there and lay the beat down on one room of writers anymore. He's got to go to different places and beat up several writers in several different writing rooms.
Fair.
Carries around Lucille, the bat barbed wire on it.
Right. Well, while we're talking about bad news, I wanted to mention earlier this week, Warner Media's Rooster Teeth has cut 13% of their staff. They've laid off about 50 people. Now, Rooster Teeth...
Why? But, I mean, they're the comedy site, right?
No, Rooster Teeth has done Red versus Blue for years. They've done
that's funny.
The animated series Ruby, which they had the voice actresses that I moderated their panel at QuestCon a while ago. It's an animated cartoon type deal. You've probably not seen it.
No, I know Red versus Blue, though.
Right. And then Genlock with Michael B. Jordan, who does the voice acting on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, they're trying to right-size the company, as their CEO is talking about this.
Right size?
Yeah. It doesn't look like any voice actors have gone, but where is it? Content production, advertising, distribution, and e-commerce were the areas affected. They previously had a headcount of 419 employees as of this past July. So it always sucks when there's layoffs in the industry. But
yeah, I don't know. The only thing I know Rooster Teeth from is stupid videos on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's unfortunate. Now, let's bring it back up a beat.
Yay!
So I put this in here because we were talking the other week. Skungy brought us the Big Trouble in Little China board game.
He did.
And now there's a Big Trouble in Little China collector's edition that's coming out. It's going to have a limited edition vinyl soundtrack.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, so apparently... Go ahead.
How do you play it? I have nothing to play a record on.
Really?
Yeah, like you do? Do you really? Stop lying. The eyes are drifting to the left.
Hold on.
You're lying, not thinking.
Will you let me get the words out?
No.
I haven't had a record player in probably 5 years now. And it's only because I had one, and the tape decks, it was a dual tape deck. Yeah,
sweet.
I know.
And that's pretty awesome back in the day.
And I was like, I'm not going to use this thing for really anything, and it needs to be replaced. It's kind of funky, and I ended up busting it up and using it as parts. I used it as parts for my Rebel Endor Trooper cosplay that I did for Hopeless: A Star Wars Story. It's great. So like this
crazy.
Oh no, I think
the last time I ever really used one was I think my oldest son, when he was a wee tot, had one of those stupid little it would play little 45s.
Oh, okay.
And so that was about it. But I've never seen one. I had several growing up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been 2 decades since I probably looked at one or seen one or saw one for sale, except at a garage sale or some millennials place.
Now, Dave, don't you know as audiophiles, we should appreciate sound off of vinyl more?
I'm going to go with a hard no.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't need no static in the background. I like crystal clear. Like I'm on AM radio 5 days a week, Brian. I like crystal clear sound.
Back to Big Trouble in Little China. This 2-disc Blu-ray set's going to come out. It's going to have a steel book. There's a poster, a lithograph, and of course that 7-inch exclusive green vinyl via Sacred Bones, featuring music from Big Trouble in Little China's composer by John Carpenter, and he was recorded by Cody Carpenter and Daniel Davies.
That's a lot of Carpenters.
Yes.
Is that the Carpenters?
So there's a new, there's the main theme, the Pork Chop Express, which is on A side. On the B side, there's a never-before-released recording of The Alley War.
Oh, yeah, that was it. That was like the opening scene, right?
No, this has never been released. Nobody's heard it.
I mean, like the opening scene of the alley fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a soundtrack to that war.
Yes,
the alley war.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So it's for the low price of $71.98. You can get that.
What?
It's a collector's edition, David.
All right, so because of the game, right? I'm not paying $71 for a stupid record.
No, this is the movie. This is a collector's edition of the movie, re-released with artwork and a vinyl soundtrack. I just made the reference because we talked about it.
So $71 for a movie and pressed wax.
It's not wax, it's vinyl. David.
Jesus, I there was a time I respected you, but now is not that day.
So what was it last week?
Let's look at the next story you put in Top Nerd News.
Exactly.
Are you saying something? Do I want to go date Colonel Sanders? Is that what you're saying?
No, we'll get to that in a minute.
I'm single looking to mingle, but not with Colonel Sanders.
That's not what I'm getting to. We talked last week about Patty Jenkins joining in with Netflix. It looks like a lot of big names are moving around right now. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is just closed a 5-year mega deal with Warner Media.
Yes.
And he's going to.
How does Colonel Sanders work in that?
Oh, that's the last story for this segment, Dave. You just really want to talk about that.
I do.
Well,
fine. Let's talk about J.J. Abrams.
Okay, so look, he's been at Paramount for a very long time. Now he's moving over to Warner Media, which should be very interesting.
But
because
he's stepping away from like Disney and all that, though, too. I mean, that's he's going to finish up whatever those properties are that he's attached to.
Cloverfield, Star Trek, and Mission Impossible. He's finishing up his stuff on that.
Those are all rampaging turds.
They are. They need to go away. But I'm excited to see him go to Warner Media. I really hope he does some stuff for the DC Entertainment Universe.
What? Put Beastie Boys in every soundtrack and call it a day? Lens flare, here you go, here's a movie?
They need help.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anything they can get. Lens flares might help the whole thing.
Who knows?
Hey, look, if
they had lens flares in the first Superman that started the Justice League thing. That had a lot of weird lens flares.
Look, if you put the lens flares in, it can't remain dark and gritty. It's going to be lit up. So,
solid point, Brian.
Yeah,
touche. You win.
All right. So earlier this week in the Weird File is KFC. has released on Steam a dating simulator for Colonel Sanders.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, look, KFC has been doing so much weird stuff for the longest time.
I am fully on board because the latest one is Sean Astin. Basically playing Rudy, offering his coach a free chocolate cake, which looks really good.
Yeah.
But it's Rudy, but it's hard to tell because he's got the Colonel Sanders makeup on. But because it was a football game, I noticed it.
Oh, jeez.
Skungy knows. Skungy's on hold right now.
Oh, yeah? No, that's cool.
We're making him wait.
So apparently they've done crazy stuff like KFC flavored nail polish, right? A chicken wing box that doubles as a drone. They had the what was it? The romance novel, Tender Wings of Desire.
Oh, God.
Yes. That was supposedly penned by Colonel Sanders. But this is a video game that puts you in the shoes of a young culinary student who's trying to date your classmate, a young Colonel Sanders.
Is the object to try to get the 7 herbs and spices? You have succeeded in securing one herb of the 7 herbs.
Let's see. You'll have to navigate school and friendships as you try to win Sanders over as a business partner, or maybe even so much more.
Oh, the Sanders paramours.
And there's going to be cooking battles and a secret ending.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be interesting.
Color me interested.
Indeed. All right, that's all I got, Dave. Are we ready to go to break?
Oh my God, yes, we absolutely
All right,
are.
cool. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we'll have our boy Skungy and his pick of the week. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
MightyCon proudly presents their second New Orleans Comic Con, coming this September 28th and 29th at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. The New Orleans Comic Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Day passes are only $18 and weekend passes are $25. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest comic book show. Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Yeah, this is Sam J. Jones / Gordon, and you are listening to The Week in Geek. You better be listening. I will hunt you down, and I will find you.
Welcome back into The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
All right, Brian, it is your absolute favoriteest time of the show. And why is the A-Team still playing? There we go.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking, bacon?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, that Colonel Sanders dating sim, man. Believe it or not, that is a huge popular genre in Japan. They make so many dating sim games, it's not even funny.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's big deal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm flummoxed right now. Y'all are being serious?
I'm being totally
Like,
serious.
Like
serious.
only Colonel Sanders, or
No, just dating sims. Those type of
dating
games.
sims, like dating games where you like meet people and try to like have a relationship with them. It's crazy.
Is that it's like the pocket pets where you feed your little
The Tagamachis?
Yeah, like the little digital goldfish. So do they interact with any humans?
No, it's just like a regular game. I mean, they have some of them on the Switch. They have some of them on the PlayStation where you just sit there and you play and you meet somebody, and it's like, depending on the choices that you make of whether or not you get to take them home or not.
I mean, my jaw is like on the floor right now.
It's an entire genre of video games called dating sims. Yeah, Dave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't get out much.
But I don't use a dating sim either.
Maybe you should try. There's some good narrative in there. You could
Shut your dirty pie hole.
What are we talking about today, Skungy?
We're talking about the game that you might have saw an ad for during the debacle of the Saints game, Gears 5.
Okay.
Why you got to bring the Saints up? Just talk about the damn game.
So, Gears 5, Gears of War 5 was released this week.
Okay.
It is actually the 6th game in the series, but this is the brand new game from the Coalition, who's made the last 2 Gears of War games. This game is really, really, really cool. Now, there's one thing. There are a couple of different modes. I'm going to talk about each of them. I'm going to talk about the campaign first. One cool thing that this game does that every single game should do that's a serialized game. Now, this is the 5th game in a series. Okay. I've played all of them. I can't remember what happened in Gears 1 or 2. I mean, that's 10 years ago. How am I going to remember that? This game has a previously on Gears segment.
All right, that's cool.
That's smart.
That brings you up to speed to everything that happened in the original trilogy, and then it brings you up to speed on what happened in the very last game. So it's really great. So you can sit there and go like, oh, okay, now I remember what happened with this character, because a lot of games like this, they just drop you into it going assuming that you know everything that happened in the past. And it can be a little overwhelming, but this is a great segment that every game that's a serialized game should do.
So I guess my question is just what's the gameplay look like? Because I've seen countless commercials for it. It's always got some popular song in the background, and it's just his daughter shooting stuff and starting up the chainsaw gun. It's like, okay, but what is the game? How does it look? Stop showing me cutscenes. What the hell is this game?
Well, it is a cover shooter, is what it's basically called. This basically started the whole cover shooter mechanic, where it's a third-person shooter, cameras behind over your shoulder. You hide in cover and pop out to shoot your enemies. You've got a variety of different weapons. But I mean, it started. Like I said, it started that entire genre. Well, they've refined it a little bit. It's always on point. The gameplay and the gun mechanics are so great. There's such a huge variety of weapons that are really fun to play around with. But the one thing that stands out on this one with the campaign is they have this character named Jack. Okay. He's a drone that you can go through, and for the first time in a Gears of War game,
you can play a bad guy?
An open world segment. Yeah, Jack. It's an open world segment where you can go around and find components for Jack. You can go on little separate missions. Gears of War used to be pretty much straightforward, point A to point B. Well, the middle 2 acts of the game, you can go and just explore and go on side missions. And when you go on side missions, it's mainly to find upgrades for Jack, which makes him even stronger, which completely changes the gameplay, because he can sit there and cloak himself and go up to enemies and freeze flash them and freeze an enemy, so you can just sit there and take them out, or he can hijack an enemy and take control of them, or he gives you shields, or he boosts your health. Stuff like that, it just completely changes the game.
That's interesting. Cool. Now, when you say so this is this cover mechanic sort of game, and it's also a first-person shooter, right?
No, it's a third-person.
Okay, third-person shooter, right? And then with the side missions, is that cover mechanic still in place? I'm just a little confused.
Oh, yeah. It's throughout the entire game. Like, when they get the open world, there's actually this part where you get on the skiff, this little vehicle that you get to drive around this huge map, and you find these little areas, and you jump off of the skiff, and then you go explore the area, still using that third-person shooter mechanic.
Yeah, when
you're on the skiff...
Keep going.
No, so when you're on the skiff, you're just exploring around. I'll look there and you see a flag in the distance, like, oh, that's someplace I want to go and go explore.
Yeah, see, I got in on Gears of War in 3. I started playing in 3, but 1 and 2 was on sale for $5, So I bought them both, and I played all 3. I guess in a course of 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
I blew through all of them, but it was all very linear. So this open world thing sounds pretty cool, because it really brings you follow the trail.
A new element. It brings a new element to it, and it makes you want to explore, because you want to, mainly what you're doing is trying to find these upgrades for Jack, which gives him extra abilities and whatnot. And that is just, like I said, so much fun. Then we go into, now you can play the campaign mode co-op, completely co-op with your friends, but then there's the multiplayer mode of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Which has 5 different modes.
All right.
You've got Versus, which is just a regular, good old-fashioned, I'm going to kill you, you kill me.
Yay.
But they added this area called Arcade, which as you play through, you get points, and you can use those points to upgrade your weapons and whatnot. So it's more of a not as hardcore, more of a fun kind of multiplayer deathmatch. So I really like that mode. There's also the Horde mode, which is one of the most popular modes, which is a co-op mode where you and 3 other friends sit there and try to go against 50 waves of the Locust that just keep coming and coming and coming and coming at you.
Yeah.
That one is always fun.
And what else?
Oh,
is that it?
I'm thinking about versus mode, and you've got 2 players and they're in cover. It's like, is that how, like...
Yeah, remember Gears of War was here. They were here in town remember they had the Call of Duty and the Gears tournament right there at the convention center?
I mean, I saw the Call of Duty stuff. I didn't see any of the Gears stuff.
You duck and shoot, and you can shoot blindly, or you can pop up and shoot. There's a lot of strategy involved in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy with it.
Because the aiming is harder when you keep moving yourself up and down, so it's a little bit harder, so... Yeah.
You're going to roadie run, try to run and duck behind cover and throw a grenade from blind cover or whatnot. So there's a huge competitive community for it. All right. Then there's a brand new mode for this game called Escape, where they basically have the hives for the swarm, and you drop a bomb in the middle of the hive, and it's got this venom gas, and you have to escape out of the hive. So you and 3 other players are trying to race against the clock to get out of the hive. And it's just a frantic, fun mode. But here's the cool thing about it. You can actually build your own maps for these.
Oh, nice. All right.
So that opens up to a whole new community of community-driven maps and whatnot.
So now the mod section of it, is that PC only? Or
No, that's Xbox.
Okay, so you can mod on your Xbox?
Well, you can make your own map.
Okay.
Yes, you can make your own map, and then people can play your map. You can do custom or private matches, or you can do public matches, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Nice to see the consoles coming along.
Shut your mouth.
Oh my
Price
God.
and platform, Skungy. Jesus.
All right. So the game is $59.99. There is an Ultimate Edition that comes with some extra bonus content and 30 days of boost. That's $79.99. One of the cool bonuses with that mode is that you get to play on the good guy side, Sarah Connor, and the bad guy side, the T-800 Terminator exoskeleton is one of your characters.
Cool.
And it is on the Xbox One and the Dirty PC.
Nice.
There we go.
All right, cool. Any highlights for next week, Skungy?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about Borderlands 3.
Nice. Okay.
Which I cannot wait to sink my teeth into. It's I had Gears this week, and I had to play through that first before I wanted to finish Gears before I went to Borderlands. But I'm really, really excited about it. I've been waiting a long time for this game.
Cool. Good deal. All right. Well,
yeah, you're fired.
No, come on.
What?
What?
Fire him.
He's just sour. I'm sour too today. All right, it's just a sour day.
It's just a sour day. Well, then I'm not going to fire you. Have a great night, Skungy.
Oh, thank you.
What a pudding. Jeez, Skungy, you're fired.
All right, guys, when we get back, we're going to have our press junket from Dragoncon with Ethan Peck, who played Spock in Star Trek Discovery. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
ProSe Productions is a leading independent publisher on the cutting edge of new pulp and genre fiction today. At ProSe Productions, you'll find fiction featuring fast-paced action and adventure, larger-than-life protagonists, over-the-top characters, and tight yet extravagant plots. ProSe specializes in prose books, anthologies, audiobooks, and more. Go to prose-press.com to find our monthly release schedule and more info about our great titles. ProSe Productions is your first-rate publisher of new pulp fiction today.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you. MightyCon proudly presents their second New Orleans Comic Con, coming this September 28th and 29th at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. The New Orleans Comic Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Day passes are only $18 and weekend passes are $25. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest comic book show.
Everyone listen! No one quits! This is Casper Van Dien, Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers, and you're listening to the Week in Geek radio show! Come on, you apes! You want to live forever? Kill them all! You know what to do! Service guarantees citizenship!
How do you follow that? I mean,
you don't.
This is the Week in Geek. You heard it from Johnny Rico himself.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's funny you play that rejoinder because we got that at Dragoncon in 2017.
And then you've got some audio for us for tonight, right?
Yeah. So, of course, I went to Dragoncon with Don Cooper, our staff photographer.
I'm so sorry.
No, Don was great.
Oh, it was okay. Okay.
Yeah. And we had a number of interviews that we did, and this one was with Mr. Ethan Peck. He plays Spock in Star Trek Discovery, and I missed the first question.
Okay.
They kind of started before I get the recorder out, but we start in progress.
Help change my perspective, not just on myself, but on my work, and so I was really just exercising gratitude and positivity, and I hate to say it, but it's true, and it worked. I don't know.
Awesome. To that end, what's the fan reaction been to your portrayal?
I don't know. I really totally stay off of the internet and don't ever search myself, and I'm too nervous to do that. But I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people, and I feel really proud of it. And, if I work from fear, then I'll create something, in my opinion, distorted and inauthentic. So I really try to, when I'm working on something, just stay to myself.
And on that note, just taking on a character like Spock, and not even just for ego purposes. Was there a moment when you were into it, when there was a moment when you would just, when you just at some point figured out, you know what, I think I got it. I think I got the character.
I suppose towards the final episodes, I started to feel really alive, is the word I've been using. I felt like there was a separate entity within myself. But every day, every moment as Spock is super challenging because he's so complex. He's got these warring factions in himself, essentially, of logic and emotion, of Vulcan and human. And so every moment on camera was a challenge. And I probably felt more comfortable doing the short treks that we've done post-Discovery. So it was nice to go revisit and not have all that stress and terror that I had when I first began on Discovery.
The new Penny Dreadful that's coming out, the City of Angels?
Yeah.
So production just started on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you started filming yet? Or
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And how's it going? Because I know it's different than the previous iteration, right?
Yeah, it is. I actually haven't yet seen the previous iteration.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody. No, they're pretty unrelated. So some of the same actors are carrying over, like Rory Kinnear, who's phenomenal, and I'm so excited to be working with him. But you mean, how does it compare to Star Trek, sort of?
Well, no, I'm talking about Penny Dreadful itself.
Yeah.
Just, your thoughts on the production,
it's
piece.
The amount of detail and vision that's going into it is astounding. John Logan, who's the sole writer on the show, which is unusual for an episodic, he's a genius, and I'm so excited and grateful to be working with him. And yeah, just the level of detail will surprise you. Yeah, because it's a period piece. It takes place in the 30s.
Right. No, I'm excited.
I was saying on that note about your character, like what have you discovered about your character Herman Ackerman?
Yeah, I can't say too much about him yet, but he's very different from Spock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think there are any plans to introduce Spock's half-brother, Sybok?
I have no idea. Actually, that'd be really cool. We aren't privy to much information. We each get different pieces and we try to build a bigger picture together, but I really have no idea what they have planned.
So, did you get a chance to meet with the Nimoy family before you started filming for Discovery? And then what was that like, and what was their reaction to you taking on the role?
Yeah, so a week after I got cast, CBS set up a meeting with Adam Nimoy and Julie Nimoy and their partners. And we actually met at this place called the Sportsman's Lodge in Studio City, which is across the street from the high school I went to.
Oh, wow.
And so it was so surreal to be driving over the 405 to meet the Nimoy family. Having been cast as Spock, my head was spinning. But they were so wonderful, they were so curious, and I really credit them with sort of beginning to make me feel worthy of attempting to play the role. And we actually met after all was said and done and all the episodes had aired and caught up, and they're just lovely people. Yeah.
I feel like your role's been very intense and emotional. It's really pulled on us for sure, the Trek fans. But did you do anything special just to mentally prepare? Because you were so intense, and I think that it took a lot. It felt like it took a lot for you to get to that intense emotion.
Yeah, definitely. To prepare, there was this great synergy happening between Ethan and Spock, because I had to undergo so much growth as I was doing that role, and he's undergoing so much growth, and so it was almost sort of serendipitous that I was put in the position to play him, and so a lot of what you see is real for me, for Ethan, but worked so well for Spock. But yeah, I'm sitting in prosthetics for 2.5 hours every morning, and so I would really start gearing up for the day and thinking Spock thoughts. Is how I put it. Because it's a very different presence. Yeah. Something very observant and ferociously smart and sharp, and so yeah, it definitely takes some ramping up.
Thank you for bringing that emotion to it.
Oh, thanks.
It changed a lot.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Since this is a series with a very long history and a long fandom, what do you hope Discovery's contribution to the Trek universe will be?
That's a great question. I feel like it's just beginning. It's run, I hope, for them. Just a continued representation of historically marginalized people, identities, disabilities. That's really beautiful. And I feel like we've taken it even a step further. Sneak was the first African-American lead of a science fiction show, and she's incredible and amazing, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. But also, it's the first gay relationship, I believe, and that's been on Trek, and there's been an amazing response to that, and I don't know, I think in looking back, it'll be something very special, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. And I wanted to add something else. It's really beautiful because Spock learns to become a man from his female human sister. He learns a lot about what it means to be a man. And I think that's so beautiful, and I was, again, really proud to portray that and go through that. Yeah.
I know, of course, Spock is very stoic and tries to stifle his emotions, but, that's very intense, right? And actors, as a whole, usually pull from their own life experiences to deliver that material. What was it in your life that helped you with Spock to get in that role?
I think I've always been an intensely emotional person and hypersensitive, and I believe Spock is that too. In my observing Leonard Nimoy's portrayal, I saw somebody who's deeply human and emotional and taking in his surroundings on an emotional level that's then informing his logic and his strategy and his problem solving. But growing up, I think because of my hypersensitivity, I was so guarded, and so I kind of built a bit of a wall, you know, and then I did all this work to grow out of that, to break that wall down. And I was sort of around the time of making some big revelations for myself personally in that journey of breaking down those barriers. And then it was easy to kind of put them back up in that character, you know, because, again, I think he's deeply emotional, and it's always fighting against his Vulcanness.
Well, I had a question that's kind of unrelated to Trek or Penny Dreadful. So you played the character of Thorn in 2 different Halo games.
Yeah.
You've got a Halo series coming to Showtime. Like, have you heard anything about your?
No, I haven't.
Making an appearance?
Thanks for the tip. I'm going to tell my manager to get right on that, because that would be so cool. Yeah.
So the relationship between Spock and Captain Pike is one of my canon favorites. And I thought what you and Anson Mount did with their relationship in Discovery was really, really special.
Thanks.
How did that translate? How much of that came from your relationship with Anson, and how much of it was kind of on the page?
Great question. I really look up to Anson as an actor and just admire the hell out of him, and was so excited to learn from him. And we just sort of hit it off. I think we're similar in a lot of ways, also very different in a lot of ways. I've made him my reluctant mentor.
His reluctance or yours?
I straight up asked him. I was on set with him and Michelle Yeoh, and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm looking for a mentor. What do you think, Anson?" He was like, "No." No, but I think because he has a lot of belief in me, which I appreciate so much. But also, when I was prepping for the role, I thought this was the man that I was quietly looking to teach me about being a man on the Enterprise, and so that's how I began my on-screen journey with him, and I think that permeated, you know.
I got a question related to Halo. I think when I was researching, you did some mocap stuff on that. How was that for you, doing that sort of delivery? Do you have any preferences for delivering in that fashion? I mean, you know, because it has to be a lot different than being on set.
Yeah. That was, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know what the hell I was doing, in a way. I feel like I'm only just beginning to figure out how to do this craft properly.
Right.
But I think in an ideal world, it would be as little makeup as possible. And I like costumes, and so right in the mocap suit, you're like a strange green thing in a green space. You know, it's really strange. So I prefer to be on camera, live action.
Okay.
Ideally without prosthetics. You know,
yeah.
That can be a bit uncomfortable. But happily we'll wear them. You know,
all right.
As I have.
Cool.
There's time for one more question. Sorry, guys.
Anybody else? I have silly questions.
Ask away.
Go for it.
If you have to toss one of your crewmates out the airlock, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's rough.
Was it silly or cruel?
I have to toss one of them into deep space. It'll perish horribly.
That's...
Say faster, someone who can hold their breath
longer. Oh, man.
It's cool. We're just going to mention them in the tweets. It's fine. No pressure.
Okay, who would have thought that question stumped him this week?
I just have such positivity for everybody that I work with. It's like hard to think of. I mean, even in the world of Discovery, there aren't people that Spock has animosity towards, really. Probably Michael Burnham. Because of the sibling rivalry, you know, like all the sassiness we have between us.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian, I don't know. I think, he should have just said Princess Leia because he said she could hold. So whoever put them out in deep space, that can hold their breath. Princess Leia.
Well, yeah, but that's Star Wars, Dave.
Oh, right. That's right. He's Spock. My bad.
Jeez, so silly. But yeah, so that was Ethan Peck. It was cool. He was a really cool guy. In fact, he gave me a rejoinder. We got to cut that.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close it all out, as we always do, with This Week in Geek History. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H-21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
MightyCon proudly presents their second New Orleans Comic-Con coming this September 28th and 29th at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. The New Orleans Comic-Con features hundreds of artists and creators, vendors, and of course, special guests. We also have free comics at the door for all attendees, free parking, and kids 12 and under get in free. Day passes are only $18 and weekend passes are $25. Go to MightyConShows.com for more info. Don't miss New Orleans' biggest comic book show.
Hey, this is Jason Douglas. Actually, this is Beerus the Destroyer, and you're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D-Squared with
Brian Held.
Now, as always, we want to strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twigradio, and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app.
And Brian's new address that he put on Facebook.
Oh, jeez.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future!
Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. We're going to see a Google spike in searches for a local celebrity, Brian Held.
Oh, God, stop. I moved in a new place, and I posted a picture of my new place from Google on Facebook, and I didn't realize that the address was at the bottom. I had to delete it and crop the photo and put it back. And, I mean, look,
you're not used to those mistakes. That's why I gotta dig when I can.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Just don't show up randomly at my house, guys.
Call ahead. He likes guests anyway.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, first item on my list. September 9th, 1994. The Mosaic Communications Corporation releases their first web browser, Mosaic Netscape .4. Right? Do you remember Netscape Navigator?
I do, yeah.
Way back, that was like the way to get on the internet when you had to use dial-up at, 28.8 K baud, that sound like you're
begging for bauds from your friends. Like, dude, what kind of modem you got? How many bauds it's got?
Mm-hmm.
I used to get hand-me-downs from Russell Copeland. The
Nice.
One True Russ. I would get his hand-me-down modems.
Dude, my buddy Brent, I remember when he got his 56 6K modem, he freaked out. He's like, I'm going to be so fast.
No, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Simpler times back then, Brian.
Absolutely. All right, September 10th, 1993. Sees the premiere of The X-Files, created by Chris Carter. Airs. It was the first of 202 episodes on Fox. I'm surprised they didn't get canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here frantically searching for the X-Files. There it is.
There you go.
But,
So
I know that's one of the few they didn't
yeah.
cancel for no random reason.
It was inspired, of course, by Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Twilight Zone Night Gallery, Tales from the Dark Side, and Kojak the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
All good stuff. Do you remember Tales from the Dark Side?
I do.
Dude, I love that show. It's so cheesy, too.
I liked the one that came out later. It was called Monsters. It was on regular TV. It was called Monsters. And it opened up like the scene, the opening intro was like monsters watching humans on TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I can't, I remember watching it all the time, but I can't remember anything from it, though.
Yeah.
But it was like Twilight Zone, all that kind of, Outer Limits-esque type stuff.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
So.
All right, next item on my list, September 12th, 1983. Sees the release of the animated series G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero.
Joe.
Oh, dude, man.
I was just thinking about that today, too.
So this one is real special for me because I remember, I was like 6 when this came out, and I was at a neighbor kid's house and it came on and I literally lost my mind. His mother thought I was like, having a seizure or something like that. I was just so stupid excited. I thought it was the coolest thing, man.
Dude, like when the lineup used to be like G.I. Joe, then Transformers, and then they used to have DuckTales, and then Gummy Bears, and then what was it?
Bouncing Hearing Head there and everywhere.
Yeah, and then they had the Jungle Book one, but it was like Baloo and somebody.
Yeah.
Like they fly the plane. Tailspin.
Yes.
There you go.
All good stuff, man.
I know these children will never know. They're going to get rehashes of, Veggie Tales.
So during my move, I came across my old Foot Locker that I had when I was a kid. Yeah, the little toy box.
I know.
Right? It's full of all my original Joes.
Get out.
Yes.
Dude, mine were all in my house in New Orleans East, and Katrina struck, so...
That sucks. All right. I put this one in here for you. September 13th, 2005. Premiering on the WB, it's Supernatural.
Ah, yes. All right, so I'm caught up. So
Really?
October 10th, season 15 starts. I caught up on Netflix. I am now fully caught up on Supernatural. I'm heartbroken, man. Like, this is the last season.
Yeah.
And look, it ended on a kick-ass Supernatural cliffhanger, man. Like the end times, because they knew they were going to end the series at 15.
Yeah.
And so I finally got to see the finale of season 14. And yeah, like God just snaps his fingers, like, all right, let's just cut straight to the end.
Wow.
Boom. And I'm just like, yes, Chuck is back. I mean, dude, it's the greatest hits. They brought back everybody. It's just freaking phenomenal.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next item on my list, September 14th, 2001. Nintendo releases the GameCube video game system in Japan. And
did it have a dating sim on it?
No.
I'm bringing everything back full circle.
No, I know. But Super Smash Bros. Melee sold over 7 million units worldwide, becoming the best-selling GameCube title. And I brought this up because people are still playing Super Smash Bros. On the GameCubes.
They are playing it in the Saints locker room. I kid you not. Cam Jordan, last time we went back in there, he was like, boo, the media showed up. He's ready to stop playing his GameCube. He had to stop playing Smash Brothers.
Wow.
Because, stupid media types like us wanted to talk to him.
Well,
So I had mad respect. I'm like, I ain't messing with you. I'm going to go talk to somebody else.
What, you should have asked him to get in a game.
He was already getting mauled by people.
Well,
he was already in a bad mood. You don't go poke the bear. At least not with Saints players.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have you suck at video games. You could have let him beat you up.
It's almost time to end the show, you big jerk.
It is. Last item on my list, September 15th, 1995. Sees the release of cult movie Hackers. And, of course, introduces Angelina Jolie to the world. Yes, I love it. It's a great movie. It's still terrible in every way. All right, birthdays real fast. On the 9th, Adam Sandler. On the 10th, Colin Firth. 11th, Roxanne Dawson. On the 12th, Ryan Potter. He's in Titans.
Okay.
On the 13th, Freddie Wong. He's done stuff with Jon Favreau. He does all this effects animation. It's great. And on the 14th, Walter Koenig.
Hey, all right.
Yep.
Okay. Next week is next week.
Yes, I have no news about next week. And Mighty
No
Con's
good
coming up.
news is good news with Gary Gnews.
Oh.
Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
NOLA's home for Fox News Radio and the Weather Channel. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans. An iHeart radio station.